For the first question, we had to calculate today's date, and for that we are going to use today function. So we will write equal to today, and we got today's date. When you solve these questions, you will get slightly different answers because you will be solving them on different dates. For the next one, we are going to use the weekday function. We will write weekday. We will select today's date from this cell, or we can also write today function directly, and then we will use 2 as our second parameter to ensure that our week starts from Monday. For the next one, we are going to use weeknum function. We will again select today as our first parameter, and this time we will choose 1 to ensure that our week starts from Sunday. For the next one, we are going to use text function with the option MMM, and it will return the short month name for our current date. When we need to calculate the day for the current date, we will use our text function again, and this time we will couple it with the option DDDD, and it will return Monday for us. For the next question, we had to calculate the net working days, and for that we are going to use net workday formula. We will plug in our start date and end date from these cells, and net workday by default takes Saturday and Sunday as our weekend, so we don't have to specify anything for that. Also, as per our question, there are no holidays in this duration, so we will keep our holidays as blank, and now we get the value 446. So we have 446 working days between 1st January 2021 and 17th September 2022, considering Saturday and Sunday as weekend and no public holidays. For the next question, we have to calculate the project end date, and for that we will use workday.intl function. Start date will be our first parameter, 180, or number of working days will be our second parameter. To specify weekend as Sunday, we will choose this value, and these will be our holidays. Based on this, we get the value we were looking for. For our next question, we have to calculate the date, which is 4 months from the current date, and for that we are going to combine edate with our today function. We are going to write edate, then we will select today, comma 4, and it will return a date which is 4 months from the today's date. For the next question, we have to calculate the start of month of the current date, and for that we are going to pair our EO month with today function. We will write EO month today minus 1. This will give us the last date of the previous month, and if we add 1 to that, we will get the start of month for the current month. End of month for the previous month is pretty straightforward. We will again combine EO month and today, and we will write minus 1, and it will give us the end of month for the previous month. Now we have to calculate the difference between these two dates in terms of days and months. Calculating the difference in terms of days is pretty straightforward. We can either take the difference of these two dates directly, or we can also use our days function. Either one will return 839. For the next one, where we have to calculate the difference in number of months, we can use our datedif function. We will write datedif. Start date will be our first parameter, end date will be our second parameter, and for the third parameter we are going to write m, and now we get 27 months as the difference. For the next question, we have to calculate quarter on the basis of our date. When we created our calendar table, we actually used roundup function to create our quarters. Let's see a slightly different approach using choose. Choose function, as the name suggests, chooses a value on the basis of its index number. For example, Here we have written choose 1, north, south, east and west. If we select 1, it will return north because that is at the first index. If we choose 2, it will return south and so on. Now we know that the first, second and third month belong to the first quarter. The fourth, fifth, sixth months belong to the second quarter and so on. So we will write choose. To calculate the month from our date, we will use the month function and it will return the month. Now if the month is 1, 2 or 3, we should be returning 1. So we will write 1 as our value 1, value 2 and value 3. If the month is 4, 5, 6, we should be returning 2 because the quarter is 2. So we will write 2, 2 and 2 as our fourth, fifth and sixth value. And for the next one we are going to write 3, 3 and 3 which will cover 7, 8 and ninth month. And finally we will write 4, 4, 4 for 10th, 11th and 12th month. Now if we copy our formula to the below cells, it will give us the correct result. You can use either of these two functions. You can either use roundup or you can use choose, or you can also do this using switch. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, you can use that function. For calculating our start of year on the basis of date, it is pretty straightforward. When we are calculating the start of year, the year will remain the same. The date and month will be 1. So we can go ahead and hard code the date as 1 and 1, and we will have to fetch the year from our current date using the year function, and we will club this with our date function. So we will write date, year, and we will select our today function. Then we will specify 1 and 1 and it will return our start of the year. For the start of our quarter, we can calculate the year in a similar fashion. The date will be 1. Now we just need to calculate our quarter, and for that we can again either use the roundup function, or we can use the switch function, or we can use choose, which is what I demonstrated earlier in this video. So I will just copy this formula now, and here we will get our start of quarter as well. For the final one, we are going to use year fraction. This date will be our start date. For the end date, we are going to choose end of year 2021, which will be December 31st, 2021. And we will choose 1 or actual as our basis. And now we get our year fraction percentage. We just have to multiply this with 8000 and we will get the amount that the person should receive. If you still have any questions regarding the date function, just drop them in the comment section and I'll be happy to help.